There are names in history that echo with glory: Caesar, Alexander, Genghis. But there's one name that doesn't echo. It screams. Timur. Not Timur the Great, not Timur the Brave, but Timur the Lame. A man whose crippled leg and damaged arm hid the darkest heart the world had ever seen. A conqueror who didn't just defeat his enemies, he erased them. Born in 1336 near the city of Samarkand, Timur entered a world already soaked in the legacy of Mongol conquest. He claimed descent from Genghis Khan, but where Genghis built an empire, Timur built nightmares. As a young man, he was injured in battle, an arrow to the leg, a deep wound to the hand. Most men would never walk or fight again, but Timur, he adapted. He limped, yes, but his mind ran faster than any man's sword, and he was about to unleash something the world had never seen before. He wasn't born into power. He took it, first by scheming, then by blood. His army was ruthless, but he made them believe they were invincible, not just warriors, instruments of divine wrath. And when they marched, they didn't conquer lands, they annihilated civilizations. In 1370, he declared himself ruler of the Timurid Empire, a name no one had heard but all would soon fear. His ambition wasn't just to conquer, it was to surpass every warlord in history, and so he set his sights west, toward Persia, India, the Middle East, and eventually, even Europe. What followed was one of the deadliest rampages in human history. Cities weren't just sacked, they were vaporized. Entire populations wiped out, buildings flattened, monuments torn down to make room for pyramids of skulls. Yes, real pyramids, built from the heads of his victims. In the city of Isfahan, after a brief rebellion, Timur retaliated by slaughtering over 70,000 people. Each head was counted, each one stacked. The streets ran red for days. Children drowned in the blood of their parents. Survivors were forced to march past the piles, screaming, begging, praying. Timur watched it all in silence. In Delhi, he entered the jewel of India like a plague. The city had never fallen to such ferocity. Wealth beyond imagination, gold, gems, silk, flowed into his coffers. But the people? Over 100,000 were massacred in a single day. Not because they resisted, because they existed. And still, Timur wasn't done. In Baghdad, the cradle of civilization, he repeated the horror. The river turned black with ink from the looted libraries, then red with the blood of slaughtered innocents. Poets, scholars, artists, beheaded, burned alive, buried in mass graves. He wanted to erase culture itself, to reset history, and write it in his name. His tactics weren't just military, they were psychological. When a city resisted, he made sure no one lived to speak of it. When a city surrendered, he sometimes spared them, but not always. His mercy was unpredictable. That made it more terrifying. You couldn't negotiate with Timur. You could only hope not to be noticed. And yet, the irony? He loved art, architecture, calligraphy. He turned Samarkand into a jewel of the Islamic world. While his armies turned cities to ash, he commissioned blue-tiled mosques, observatories, and gardens. He was a butcher with a taste for beauty, a monster who spoke like a poet. But make no mistake, Timur was not civilized. He wasn't a genius strategist like Napoleon. He wasn't a statesman like Augustus. He was something else. If you want more chilling, real-life stories that sound like horror fiction but are 100% true, like, comment, and subscribe, because the past isn't just written in ink, it's written in blood.